You know, my mom was 14 when she had me. You know, my mom was molested by her big sister husband. I grew up calling my cousins, you know, and the whole while it was my brothers. Like, I grew up having to teach me about basketball, and I'm thinking this my uncle, this my daddy the whole time. It ain't like this did this to my mom and went on about his way in life. This did this to my mom, and he was still my aunt's husband. He's selling my mama drugs. I'm already on food stamps. We already on food stamps. You selling the drugs, what the fuck you think she about to do now? She's selling the fucking food stamps to get the drugs now. So now we not eating. I'm 3 years old. I shouldn't be knowing what the word crack mean. I shouldn't even be knowing how to pronounce the word. What you talking about? I'm not only pronouncing the word, I'm defining the word. I know what it is. I know what a gun mean. I'm 2 years old, 3 years old. I know what a gun mean, what crack mean. I smell shit like that.
I still think about it. Many nights up sweating, I even dream about it. Let's talk about the tragedy. I tell you what they mean about it. Chip up on my shoulder, man, I probably couldn't live without it.
This is Walter Jonas, older brother to American reality television personality Toya Johnson, and 3 younger brothers who all played a major role within their family structure. Somewhere in junior high, Toya and the Prince of Cash Money Records, Lil Wayne, became inseparable, which made Toya honorary Cash Money royalty. But for her brothers, it was a hard-knock life for real. Bank robbery, lengthy prison stays, and the permanent departure of 2 of them. Walter was released from prison just a few years ago and decided to share his story with us and where the hardship started for him and his brothers.
Yo, what up, my people? This your boy, Trife, Walter.
We're gonna start from scratch, bro. And like, I want to take it to months before Walt was born. Coming to the world, as far as what you know and what you heard.
First of all, I wasn't born out of like love like most people. If that makes sense. Like, I wasn't born out of love like most people. I was, you know, for the most part, most people, you know, whether if you and your mom and your dad got together because it was a one-night stand, it was at a club, or anything, it was something that they both gave consent on, was intimate on, you know, feeling each other or whatever, in a relationship, whatever. For my situation, I'm here because a nigga committed a crime. Like, I'm product of, you know, what trauma is done to a person. You know, my mom was 14 when she had me. You know, my mom was molested by her big sister husband. I grew up calling my cousins, you know, and the whole while it was my brothers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that was just one thing, you know, me coming into this world, you know, her being real, and, you know, that having to go through the phase of her being, you know, on drugs was another part of my life, you know. Like, my mom wasn't on drugs when she had me, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But after she had me, the separation with her and her family, you know, it brought a lot of stress because now she ain't got the support, you know what I'm saying? She ain't got support from her family. She a child trying to live out in this world, in cold streets of New Orleans, you know what I'm saying? So she don't have the navigating tools that she need, you know what I'm saying? Like, and she's accustomed to being directed and taken care of because she got many big sisters and a big family, you know what I'm saying? So it's stress on her, you know, so she get on drugs.
So about how old was she when she started on drugs, you think?
How old was my mom? I say like 16.
So you don't have do you have a memory of when she wasn't on drugs?
I have a memory of my mom not on drugs. Yeah.
What was that like? How do you remember that? How do you?
I remember I walked with my mom a lot You know, I'm walking with my mom. You know, my mom used to be fine. You know, she was beautiful. You know how my sister Toya, how my little sister Beatty is, and that's how my mama was. That's where they get it from. So they can't never say that they cold. They is cold. Don't get me wrong, but they both got to acknowledge where they get it from. You know what I'm saying? They get that from neither. You know, I used to be real protective of my mom. You know, I used to walk behind her butt real close. Old men used to peep to play with the little nigga doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, the little nigga walking close to his mom, but I look back, you know what I'm saying? Like, mug one of the old timers, you know, like, gonna be looking at my mama ass, man, you know what I mean?
Say, well, so it was just you and Nita for how long?
It was me and Nita for 2 years, for like 2 years. And I count the whole 2 years because my mom pregnant too with Toya. You know, I'm probably like a year old, you know, and my mom get pregnant with my little sister. When they had my sister though, my sister got took from me. You know, they didn't keep Toya in the house. You know, at this time my mom on drugs. You know, so after she had her, you know, my mom, aunt, and uncle, you know, they opted to raise Toya. You know, considering my mom's still a child, you know, you got a little Walter, you know, and at this time I'm named after a guy that took me in who seen my mom, you know what I'm saying, run away from home, you know what I'm saying, he named me after him, wow. You know, and raised me as his own. So, you know, that's my daddy, you know, Big Walt, you know, yeah.
He's still with us today?
Yeah, he's still with us today. That's my pops, yeah. That's all the rest of my siblings' father. That's my father. You can't tell me that ain't my fucking daddy. Fuck you talking about? I knew him before any one of them. So he was my daddy before he was their daddy. You know what I'm saying? You did. But
So Toya come in the picture and you say she was
taken. Yeah, the family took her. I guess they didn't want my mom. She was on drugs, man. She young. You know, they don't need this little girl don't need to be around this.
Okay, that's why I was going, like the environment.
This environment. Right. This little girl don't need to be in this environment. So as I get older, I feel this, but as a young and, you know, as a child, I don't understand this at this time. At this time, you know, I'm like, I'm seeing what my mom going through, how she crying and stressing and getting loaded and shit. Like, I don't really care for my family like that. You know what I'm saying? I care for my mom. Y'all took my little sister from me, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I feel some type of way about that shit. I don't have my little sister around me, you know what I'm saying? Me growing up, I'm in the backyard playing by myself, you know what I'm saying? All this type of shit. You know, my mom had Josh right after that, dude, you know what I'm saying? But still, you know what I'm saying? You know, this is stuff that you think a child isn't paying attention to. Even when this child is 2-3 years old, what you got going on in his surroundings and his environment can affect him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know, the shit that you say out your mouth, the behavior that you display, you know, all that it plays on this child. So you got to think about this. I'm not growing up with a childhood. I'm growing up with a grown state of mind at an early state of mind, if that makes sense. I'm 3 years old. I shouldn't be knowing what the word crack means. I shouldn't even be knowing how to pronounce the word. What you talking about? I'm not only pronouncing the word, I'm defining the word. I know what it is. I know what a gun means. I'm 2 years old, 3 years old. I know what a gun means, what crack means. I smell shit like that.
And we stand away from any fingers being pointed or any blame, but your environment specifically, like you get up on a daily basis, that's the type of shit you would see. Like, what you know, paint that picture.
I mean, I'm not being taught principles. I'm first of all, I'm born out of dysfunction. Second of all, not only am I born out of dysfunction, but I don't even have proper direction around me to even help guide me and lead me out of that dysfunction. This is what leads me to look up to dudes that I thought was, you know, had a grab hold to life or something. You know, they got nice cars or something. They got money. Then they got the girls. They got, you know what I'm saying? They able to take care of their family. You know what I'm saying? Like, but even all that was bullshit. You know, because these same brothers that we idolize is the same brothers that was actually putting knives into the hearts of our community. Excuse me, of our community. You selling my mama drugs. I'm already on food stamps. We already on food stamps. You selling the drugs. What the fuck you think she about to do now? She selling the fucking food stamps to get the drugs now. So now we not eating. We not eating. So now what that do? She's still in the streets because she trying to go get it. So now what that do? I'm not on drugs, but I'm in school. But I can't go to school if I got baby brothers at home. Because after Toya, she had Josh, Casey, Rudy. You know what I'm saying? In that order, right? Back to back to back. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like I can't just focus on school. Smart as I am, I'm a small kid. But
real quick, so after who's the baby?
Anisha, Beatty.
Beatty.
Yeah.
Okay. When Beatty come in, how old are you?
When Beatty come in, I'm like 11, 12. I'm like 12 years old when Beatty come. When Beatty come in, the birth of Beatty is the birth of me catching on to all the bullshit in my family, basically. When my mom had Beatty, it was like everything hit me. Like, wow, I've been living a lie the whole time. Like I've been caught in this fucking, like I've been in the Matrix or some shit. Like the whole entire time.
And what was that? Why is that? What
like I grew up having to teach me about basketball, and I'm thinking this my uncle, this my daddy the whole time. It ain't like this did this to my mom and went on about his way in life. This did this to my mom, and he was still my aunt's husband. He was still over there by her house. When I go see my cousins and them, what's up, Uncle Harry? What's up, nephew? You know what this shit do you when you find out that this your daddy? This your father, for real? And I'm not saying that the person who's playing my father isn't my father, but me going through so much at a young age, like I'm 5 years old catching on that I got a lot of things about me that I'm different from my siblings. Or you know, like I'm seeing my cousins and them I act more like them than I act like them. This dude here, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm seeing certain things, but I'm tripping. We family. All right, cool.
How do you find out?
My mom. I find out from my mom. My mom, I'm loaded one night.
And how old are you when you find out?
I'm 12. I'm 12. I'm exactly 12. I find out that the guy who I'm named after is not my real father. That the dude who I've been portraying and calling my uncle and having basketball sessions with and shit is my real daddy. You know, his kids, my cousins, they my real brothers. You know, I'm 12. Nah, it's falling on me. It's hitting me. Oh, well, this is why my family is so nice to me and shit. Like, I get anything out of all the grandkids. You know, my grandfather and grandmother had 11 kids, and all of them got buku children. You know, they left with 5 generations. So I grew up with I got buku cousins. And it's like some of the older ones, they would do certain things. Like sometimes some things are happening and just to make you like, damn, like why she said that or why she looked like that when a certain person came around. Certain things I started catching on to when I got older. Certain person come around, you know what I'm saying? They stopped talking or what they was talking about, you know what I'm saying? I'm you know, all this shit building up as I'm getting older. But it ain't that it's building up as I'm getting older. It's that I'm getting older so I'm able to decipher and discern what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Do you feel like that did you something psychologically? If so, I know there was those type of hard to see. I'm 12 years old. No, at 12 years old, I don't see this. But at 12 years old, I know I'm mad. I'm angry. At 12 years old, I'm like, you know, fuck my family. I start doing all kind of shit at 12 years old. Start beating up at school and shit. Stop worrying about, you know, my grades. I wasn't worrying about homework. I started doing more shit. Like, you know, my mom was in the streets, you know, and she was real known, real popular in the streets. But I started doing shit like, you know, doing a little bit of shit in the hood and at school and shit to make sure my little brothers and them are able to eat and shit, have some, you know, even if it's bread, cheese, and meat, you know what I'm saying? Like, we had that. I had cereal and milk. You know what I'm saying? I made sure that them went to school. I made sure that they went to school doing shit like that. I wasn't even going to school.
What would you do to make sure they eat sometimes? I mean,
I go up the street. I'm gonna give you a prime example. I remember one time we was standing in Hardwood. We was in the East. We was standing right behind the post office. I wake up, you know what I'm saying? It's like 4-5, you feel what I'm saying? I know they ain't been going to school because I've been slipping, you feel what I'm saying? I've been coming inside late and shit around this time. But now these ain't been going, you know, Josh ain't been going to school and shit, you know what I'm saying? Him and Casey. I want to get these to school, you feel what I'm saying? These ain't got nothing to eat. We ain't got nothing in this bitch, you know? The thing is, I'm up early. The store up the street, though, right up the street, you know what I'm saying? Right on the corner, too. It don't open till like 6:30, 7 o'clock. So I go out there, though. If I'm thinking, fuck, if I catch somebody right now trying to get at the bus stop, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna jack them, fuck it, you know what I'm saying? But if I don't see somebody, I'm gonna just wait till, you know, the store open and I'm gonna go in there and get some shit. I ain't got no money on me. I ain't, you know.
Damn, bro.
I don't got no money on me, but I go in the store and, you know, I take shit. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing it a little minute, you know what I'm saying? So I'm crafted with how I do it, you know. I'm taking shit. But I'm me at the same time. Like, don't just think that I'm just doing bad. I'm still me. And I still act the same way while doing what I'm doing, because I'm not doing it because I'm trying to be a bad person or a thug or a gangster. You know what I'm saying? My little brothers in them hungry. So the crazy thing to that is, I'm in there stealing, and the fucking man in the store telling me, man, I made this sandwich, the po' boy, and the dude just left. Ain't never come back. I thought, fuck, I'm finished. He ain't never come back. You know what I'm saying? Man, you want this? The man gave me the fucking sandwich, the po' boy. Gave me the po' boy. Told me to get a drink too.
That was God, bro. You think he saw you? Saw what you was doing?
I mean, honestly, no. Because I feel like I was good at what I was doing. No, he didn't see me. But the crazy thing is, he gave me that fucking po' boy and told me to get a drink. I already had chips and candy and Snickers and you know what I'm saying? So by the time I got back, you know, them got dressed, they ate, you know. When they had a po' boy, you know, ham and cheese, you know, for breakfast.
Bro, when I interviewed Casey, he said the same thing. He went into some heavy detail about Walt stealing and, you know, how you carried that weight for him, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, and you know, the crazy thing is you a child, so you thinking sometimes you thinking that this is the norm. You know, I mean, fuck, you don't see nobody around you. We don't see at this time. We don't have there ain't no Obamas. We don't fully. The only thing that we get to being a superhero is people like Oprah, fucking. You know what I'm saying? At that time, you know, Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson.
Did you personally ever have a chance, like an opportunity or something that came your way that said, I could do this, I could make it off this, or?
No.
Especially at that time.
What you mean? Let me say it like this. I don't know if you mean this, but I'm going to answer to what you're saying. I never had a chance. The devil been on me since I was born. I never had a chance.
You ever went through your selling dope phase? You ever thought about hustling?
I never hustled because I seen what drugs did, you know, my household. So I tried. I'm not gonna lie to you. I tried.
Listen, it's always the other way around though, right?
Right.
It's always the child that comes up in the house is usually the fucking man in the city.
Right.
Ends up.
Right.
But your heart went a whole different way. You had a whole different struggle with it.
You gotta remember, it's like this. Maybe if Nita didn't go through what she went through with having me, her being on drugs probably wouldn't have affected me that much to where I didn't sell drugs. My mama going through what she going through with having me. When I seen her on drugs, boy, I don't want this for nobody. I see how when there's times when she was stressed, being her emotional, phase, and she just shut herself off and neglect her kids. Not by, you know this. I know my mama love me. I'm not telling you she doing this shit because she's a bad mom. But my mama the funnest fucking mom to be. My mom is the best mom to have. This come up when we was young. Man, my mom was like, yo, mom. That our mom was the mom to have. You feel what I'm saying? So I never had that in my heart that my mom was a bad mom. It was my sympathy for her. Like I felt so much for my mom that I felt so much for my mom that I didn't want that for nobody else, mama. I ain't sell drugs. I ain't sell drugs. For the same reason I ain't do no jacking. I ain't jacking. Fuck. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know my mom. We was struggling as a single household, but as a collective, the Johnson family, like my aunts and stuff, we did family things. They made sure that we had family. That's one thing about them. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that the situation where they had, the guilt on their heart with the situation that happened with me and my mom, but for the most part, my aunts and stuff, they tried to amend. They tried to like show my mom that look, we wasn't wrong as big sisters. We wasn't there for you. You know what I'm saying? So they took us in and shit. They took me, Toya, all us. When my mom was in the streets doing neither thing. You know what I'm saying? Like my aunt and them was there for us. My aunt Penny, God bless her soul. Penny, Shalene, Lisa, Janine.
Yeah, Casey talked about them too.
You know what I'm saying? Like they held that shit down. And they taught us shit, bro. Like, like I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like my mom got 8 sisters, 2 brothers. We never, as kids in our family, we didn't grow up. There wasn't the only male figure that we had was my grandfather. We had 2 uncles, love them to death, but the woman stood out more, maybe because they were so dominant, it was so many of them, but we grew up protecting our moms and looking at our moms, our aunts as our role models. We didn't have niggas around us, you know what I'm saying? So it was like the sons was, in a way, was the mom's men. Wow. Yeah. If that makes sense. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm so young and my mom's so young. I not only grew up with my mom, but like I'm her man. Like for those that got an open mind and understand what the fuck I'm saying. Like, the bullshit. I'm what the fuck is you talking about? I'm her man. I'm the only she ever knew. You feel what I'm saying? And this be bad because later on in life, when you say, for instance, like I got married, if my mom was in my fucking business too, ain't no fucking way in the world you gonna have no bitch before me.
She was vetting on her, right? She was like, making sure she was good for you.
Man, my mom, motherfucker, my mom was in my business. My mom helped fuck my marriage up. Fuck you talking about, that's how much you love me. If you catch that, if you can understand what the I'm saying. Wow. She loved me so much she fucked my marriage up. That's how much we grew up together that I couldn't be apart from you. My mom fucked my marriage up, my mama. Neither did that. Neither fucked my marriage up. I'm gonna be real with you. But that's how much she loved me.
Not solely though.
Not intent. I'm not even gonna say intentionally. I'm gonna say like we've been living in this world, like even if like when I left.
No, I mean like your relationship, like when y'all separating, you and your wife divorcing or whatever.
Not for his incident. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You can't put all that weight on her.
Nah, I'm not gonna put. Okay. Nah, I'm not gonna say that my mom is the reason that I made bad decisions in my marriage, or that Tasha made bad decisions in her marriage. However, my mom didn't allow me to be the man that I needed to be in my marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You say, so when Toya came in the picture, she was separated, and I bring this up because I know you have other siblings just equally as important, but that kind of paints the, give me the understanding of it, because I have been, of course, interviewing you guys and then doing a whole bunch of research. I was finding out a bunch of things myself, and then I found out that you guys. So it was at no point she came back home after.
Okay, so there was times when she'll come over, for a month or two, we get and at this time my mom got, all the boys now, you know what I'm saying? My little sister Beat still ain't born yet, you know what I'm saying? But Toya's, she come over, and when she come over, it's like the boys don't want her to leave. We catering to her. She getting whatever in the house, you know what I'm saying? I'm on my little brothers. But the crazy part is they get it. They understand. They get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't seen Toya too. That's our sister too. She like foreign to us. You feel what I'm saying? She like, wow. When we see her, you know what I'm saying? They go, Toya, you know what I'm saying? Right. But just wanting to be around our sibling, and it just shows that how much we were separated that much, that when you seen your sister, you kind of looked at your sister like, if you had to judge it nowadays, you know what I'm saying, you look at your sister, Toya been a celebrity. Like, we been celebrities. We been seeing this sign. Like, when my mom had me, that's what it was with me. That's the little girl that got the little boy in the neighborhood. I was the most known, talked about person in my neighborhood. That's the little boy. That's the little boy that got the little girl that got him, the little young mama. I've been famous.
Being up to the code 3 chase. Suspect was last reported southbound.
10-23 with the pursuit. Just cleared another call. I'm headed over there.
In December of 2014, Walter, younger brother Casey, and a small crew were successful with a bank heist that made them $250,000 richer than they were. After living a lavish lifestyle for a short period of time, the brothers were captured and were both sentenced to lengthy stays in prison.
If you're going through what I had went through and you find yourself kind of similar to me, then what I'm telling you is for you. I don't give a fuck about the person that's going to live there and say, well, they're stupid. They hit stupid licks and they hit. Stop playing. First and foremost, if you do your research, we probably hit the biggest lick in our region. It was never a that hit a bank like that hit that much money, first and foremost. Second of all, we did this shit and we ain't tell on and shit. We went to jail. We took our fucking lick. We went to jail. You feel what I'm saying? We did time. We ain't tell on to come home and try to get clout by taking this shit as a publicity stunt. And we ain't, man, we were living real life, man. We were real. If disregard the fact that our sister was on TV, we ain't give a fuck about none of that. We was real from the street. We was still in the hood. Yeah, our sister was on TV, but we was still in the hood.
Yeah, that's
so
that's
saying that.
Too.
I'm saying that your people who your people is. We're not just talking about my sister. We talking about who her baby daddy is, Wayne. You know what I'm saying? Like who her old husband. Ex-husband was Memphis. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, the things that we went through in life, just period, bro. It should have been used for something. And I just felt like at that time, I just got tired of people. I got tired of expecting people to believe in my dreams, man. So fuck, I went with my mood. That's how we ended up in jail. It wasn't even about, nigga, we hit the lick. We got away with that. We did it right. We ain't do no flunky shit. We spent every dime that we got, that we had. We ain't get caught with nothing. We ain't do what you doing, sell dope and do all this shit only to give this shit back to the feds. Sitting here talking about you worth $1 million and then get the shit back to the feds. And then when you go to jail, then what you about to do? Tell on your plug. We ain't do shit like that, bitch ass. As you sit here and talk about me, you can't talk, but you can't say nothing about Walt that Walt ain't already said by yourself. I'm 17, bro. I go to jail for armed robbery. Me and my little partner, we robbed this bar. This little white joint. We both 17. We robbed there. Yeah. Wind up, somebody seen us, and knew who we was. You heard me? Wind up ratting on us, told on us. Yeah, your own people always. Told on us. We go to jail. I remember hearing, I was so in tune with things growing up, having to see how adults hide conversations and try to downplay certain things around so many kids and shit. I'm so familiar with that when I get around police, I understand their whole tactics and how they be operating and moving around people and shit. So I'm being interrogated, about the robbery, and I could hear them in the other room, basically. While these dudes talking, I'm so in tune, I could hear them in the other room. Damn. Pressuring my little homie to tell on me. You know what I'm saying? My little homie John. I know he put this in your mind because he like a year younger than me. He a little younger than me.
J-Line?
No, John. Yeah. So he, the people trying to get him to tell on me. And, because he gonna get you locked up because you're going to jail, you know what I'm saying? We got 3 armed robbery charges we facing, but he ain't tell. We wound up going to court and shit. We took 10 years. We 17. I'm 17, he's 16. We took 10 years. We go to prison. You're 17. You bad. All that shit there. You've been through a lot. I get it. Normal shit. But when you get to jail, you don't know how to do prison time now. You've been a juvenile shit, but now you're in a grown facility now.
What jail did you go to?
Prison. Prison, the first of all, you go to OPP. Yeah. You got prosecuted and all that type of shit there. And then I got sent to DeQuincy. From DeQuincy, I went to DOC, and then after DOC, I went to Cottonport.
Big boy shit.
Yeah, and ain't no kids can actually, fathom to even live in this type of environment. Especially not with the shit that you've been through. You got all kind of distractions and shit on your mind already. You've been through some shit, you know what I'm saying? You got to throw all that shit away now, because now you're in a different world. You ain't about to go home. You ain't about to go home. So I got 10 years to do. I do every bit of them. 10 years and 4 months, actually. I catch another charge while I was in prison, a weed charge. But while I was in jail, I changed. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm 17, don't know how to do prison time, but when I got in there, I was fortunate to be around some people, bro, that knew some shit, But if you gonna sit here and tell me that he man did some stupid shit, we all did stupid shit in our times, huh? Like, you got a brother, you got a I don't give a fuck if it's a sister. You got an uncle or daddy or somebody that have done something to survive the best way that he knew how. No matter what you may think the solution should have been. Oh, they got a sister, Toya, she rich and ooh, that none of that really mean nothing, man. When Satan come for you, he's not gonna come for you where you realize that this is him. He's gonna, you know what I'm saying? And most likely,
disguise himself.
Satan is gonna disguise himself as those that are close to you, that you can be more comfortable and off-guarded around. You know what I mean? Because in order for him to harm you or to get whatever he's trying to get out of you, you got to be off your guard. And most likely, the most times that we are off our guard is when we're around our family, people that we love. So this is going to be the people that's going to hurt you. So most of the people that are hurt, when we say hurt people, these hurt people that hurt people was hurted by their family. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times you be trying to teach people how to come from out this phase and how to get from out of this. How do you get them from out of that? You can't get him from out of that without him having to tell his story. He got to release his way from out of it. You can't just say fuck his past. I can't tell you fuck my
That's
past,
why
bro.
counseling is so important, bro.
Like I learned 2 + 2 is 4 yesterday. I say fuck yesterday, then bitch, when I'm faced with a dilemma or a situation that involves me putting forward to it, I'm not gonna know how to put forward to it because I said fuck yesterday. I can release myself from the pain that I acquired from yesterday. The pain don't got nothing to do with me progressing in life. You feel what I'm saying? Because I could progress with things like motivation. You could progress in life with things while being inspired. You know what I'm saying? You can progress with things in life with just being ambition, and having ambition. But just harboring pain, it's kind of hard for you. You ever seen a that's angry fight? You ever seen what happened to him?
Spaz out.
That's angry. I've never seen a that's mad win.
Right.
A that's win always get his ass
right,
whipped.
right.
A that's mad as a motherfucker when he fight. He always get his ass whipped. But you're harboring an emotion that doesn't equate to anything. Anger is not a attribute of the Creator. Anger is an attribute of the devil, of your lower nature. That's your lower nature. So whenever you let your lower nature lead, you got to know that it's of no type of result as in fruition, whereas it involves anything of the mind, because this is upper nature. Anything up here, heart. You ever notice all these things, these good things up here? Organs, all this shit here that you need to function and survive. I don't need my head to survive. I don't need my head to live. Think about that. This let you know that this is your lower nature. I don't need my leg to live. It's a problem if I lose my heart. It's a problem if I lose my fucking lungs, my kidneys and all that type of shit. It's a fucking serious issue. I don't need my lower nature. I let you know that. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
But we tend to uplift our lower nature as if this is what actually creates us to be successful, or to, you know, you gotta be a gangster, you gotta be a whore or something to succeed at life, to be something. You know what I'm saying? You can't do. That's why black people aren't taught. We don't teach our kids things that actually, you know, make the world spin. Like, you know, you need doctors. You feel what I'm saying? You need farmers. You need, you know what I'm saying? You need people that, you know, teach us about, you know, the economy and shit, you know, these type of things. You need shit like that. You don't need killers. You don't need. You don't need drug sellers. You don't need slave owners. Like, none of these things actually bring of no good. Like what's good of it? What's good about it? This devil shit. Like, I don't need that. Like, who the fuck brought up? Who taught of this shit? Like, where did you bring this shit from? We don't need this. Like I said, man, I'm 17, off in prison. I'm around dudes that got life, that been down 30 years. Some dudes been down 17 years. Some dudes about to go home, just finished serving 30 years. Go home in 6 months. I've learned so much from these cats, you know? And me being through what I've been through as a young kid, it just had me on a different path. Even when I went to jail, I wasn't into all the bullshit. When I went to jail, I started a movement, Slum Gods. We call ourselves Slum Gods. You know, one that has risen from a lower state of consciousness to a higher state of consciousness. I'm like 20 years old when I started this. We started calling ourselves SG. And I think I turned like 25. I started learning something about, there's a phrase, an Egyptian showed this. It was called summum bonum. And it meant to advance man from a mortal state to immortality. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, damn, 5 years ago I started a fucking little movement that said, you know, advance man from the slums, from the bottom to a higher state of consciousness. And here it is 5 years later, I'm learning some shit about the Egyptians says summum bonum, to advance man from mortal to mortality.
That stemmed from the movement you caused.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, damn. So I'm like, I'm just saying that to say this, like, damn, I was on the right path or something. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? So now I'm into stuff like that now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like my life is showing this. I'm not telling you I'm Jesus. I'm saying I'm a witness to him, partner. Whenever my mom is a virgin and she give birth to me, the dude who had me name me after him wasn't really my father. Like Joseph wasn't really, Jesus wasn't really Joseph's father. I mean, Joseph wasn't really Jesus' father. Or the fact that they got 18 years missing out the Bible and you can't even find Jesus. Or I've been gone 18, 19 years out my life in prison. My middle name Jonas, Jonah. I'm named after a prophet, one who slept in the belly of the beast. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm not telling you I'm none of these dudes. I'm telling you I'm a witness to them, though. Because I'm looking at my life. I'm looking at the shit that happened in my life when I was a kid. You feel what I'm saying? Like, damn. I know what Jonah went through, being in the belly of the beast. The fuck? I know what Moses had to go through when you sitting there talking about Moses had to free his people. How did Moses free a people that was slaved? First and foremost by a government. Whether you just say king, you just saying king, you summon this shit up. But every king, there's a government still. So if he's slaved, if our people is slaved by this government, how did Moses free these people? Moses had to learn the law. Moses had to learn laws. That's why he said God sent them up that mountain to get these laws. It wasn't that he was just a preacher or one that was just to come to tell you about God. He specifically had a certain task in order for him to free people that was in bondage. He had to know laws.
You had to go through it.
And that's what I had to go through. I had to go through the law. I had to learn the law. I went back to jail, do 10 years after I came home. You learn what they call laws. I'm like, this shit got to be some type of pre-trial publicity. Because we'll have it that I could be going to trial, yet society can be engaging on a topic that consists of my trial, my case.
Ooh,
and they speaking about my case on social media. And now people have gathered their opinions and their truths about what they think that may have happened without hearing the facts. And then judge me.
Create whole stories.
How can I have a proper and impartial jury, knowing that they could have been influenced with pre-trial publicity because of social media? Here it is. You have people that could get paid and move around in the streets and exercise information pertaining to a case as highly publicized as his. And this doesn't affect his case. This isn't a prejudice. This isn't a bias. This isn't a prosecutorial misconduct. This doesn't violate his Sixth Amendment, not at all. Come on, man.
Target,
but we praise shit like this, though. Now we detect. This is where I was getting at. We detectives. Not me. I'm gonna take fucking we out, bitch. Fuck all that. Y'all detectives. Y'all reporters. Soon as somebody has something happen, let me jump on there and say something about this. Let me send this to my people and all this fucking indirect ratting ass shit. You heard me? That's the industry right now. And you got some people that look at it like, when we did what we did with the bank situation. First of all, it's an inside job, homie. You know what I'm saying? Like, we went out there just wilding, just doing anything. You know what I'm saying? Second of all, we hit for like $250,000 and we didn't even get caught with that shit. We was able to enjoy every last dime of it. You know what I'm saying? Third of all, we ain't tell on nobody. You feel what I'm saying? We took our lick. We went through our time. You feel what I'm saying? Fourth of all, that was some shit that happened in the past, son. And if I'm fortunate and alive right now to be able to tell my story on what I went through, dealing with some shit like that for bad choices that I made, why not? If I could tell you that, say, bro, it might rat on you. Say, bro, you're going to lose so many family members while you back there, bro, and they ain't going to be able to do nothing about it. You feel what I'm saying? Why not live there and tell my story and try to, you know what I'm saying? Like, dog, I'm not praising this shit at all. But I am praising the fact that I learned something from it and that I'm here right now and fortunate enough to be able to tell you this.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know?
Yes,
So,
indeed.
fuck if you don't like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? I'm straight up. You know one thing, I pray with you and everything and slap the shit out you at the same time. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got time for, like, I don't do all the shit that these doing out here. Like, I don't pray, I do not negotiate, do not compromise. I don't got nothing going on to where it's some devil shit in me. I don't like the fact that you represent them. I don't like the fact that you call yourself a demon. You feel what I'm saying? When you know God created you, you know your grandma bat the piss out you for calling yourself some shit like that. Stop playing. You talking about how much you love Grams. How much I love my mama. My mama bat the fuck out of me for calling myself a demon. Stop playing.
Say, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Before we close out, 'cause I know we gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would like to say to anybody? Toya, Wayne,
to everybody, man. I mean, it's no, you know, to my little sister Toya, I love her, you know, everything in me. Even Wayne, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have nothing ill in my heart toward him. At the same time, you know, I do feel like some things happened to when I was trying to achieve music or pursue music, you know, I had a little roadblock in my way, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like, he played, you know, he had his hand in some of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, I don't need you to feel me. I don't need you to believe me. You feel what I'm saying? I know what I know. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm into peace right now, bro. I'm into,
so you believe Wayne maybe played some blockage in.
Yeah, I believe I was blackballed to some extent. Fucking right. I'm too good at music. I'm not only too good at music, it's what I was doing in the streets. You gotta remember, I was robbing banks and I was giving the money away to schools. Like, stop playing, son. I wasn't just robbing no fucking banks, nigga. I ain't get caught for $1 that I fucking took. You know what I'm saying? I gave scholarship money away to kids to write a letter to an incarcerated brother. I was endorsed by Hill Harper. I was in, you know, fucking with his books at this time. I was giving away $10,000 scholarships to a boy and a girl at each school that I attended that did an essay up on this man's book. I'm supporting another book. Giving away my money to some kids that ain't even mine. What the fuck is you talking about? I'm not selling drugs to them or jagging them. You know what I'm saying? But you gonna tell me that I'm wrong for what the fuck? You don't know what the fuck I did, partner. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, they didn't give me a chance, but today is different. You know, today, you know, it's 2024, man. You know, like, I control the narrative. You feel what I'm saying? Like, everything that's going on in my life right now, you know what I'm saying? I understand that God is providing for me and I'm accepting. You know, I know I'm transparent. I know I got, you know, I got shit on my shoulder. Of course, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say it's a chip, you know, but it's a bag of them up. I got a bag of chips on my shoulder, but you know, I got some shit to prove, of course, you know, and that's what I'm gonna get to. You ain't, like I said, you ain't gotta feel me. You know what I'm saying? I'm me.